Salamat Berjumpa. Welcome to the August 2012 edition of Asean Today. I'm Dalton Tanonaka of Indonesia's Metro TV at the ASEAN Secretariat in Jakarta.
Hello, I'm Raymond Goh of Malaysia's TV3 in Kuala Lumpur, and this is your monthly look at the dynamic Southeast Asia region. We begin with the birthday celebration of the organization that was founded 45 years ago in Bangkok.
The Association of Southeast Asian Nations has grown tremendously since then, and there was much to celebrate on August 8th at the ASEAN Secretariat in Jakarta. The group has grown from the original 6 members to 10. Dialogue has opened doors that were once closed, and a borderless ASEAN community is planned for 2015. But leaders say they know work needs to be done, particularly on issues such as the territorial conflict in the South China Sea and the religious problem in Western Myanmar.
We are coordinating our visits and our contacts with the government of Myanmar. I have written to all foreign ministers of ASEAN, and I think some individual members of ASEAN are also making their own approaches and contributions.
Pitsuwan's 5-year term ends with the ASEAN Summit in Cambodia in November. His successor is expected to be Vietnam's Deputy Foreign Minister Lee Loong Min. The conflict between Myanmar's Rakhine Buddhists and Muslim Rohingyas got the attention of the president of ASEAN's biggest country. Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono asked Myanmar counterpart Thein Sein in a letter to quickly solve the problem and to allow in international observers to the western state. The human rights group Amnesty International says hundreds of Rohingyas have been victims of violence. A state of emergency exists in the area on the border with Bangladesh.
Malaysia once again has a 20 ringgit banknote. New bills were put into circulation July 16th, all featuring the country's natural and cultural heritages. And after a 16-year absence, the 20 ringgit bill is back, worth the equivalent of $6.45. It narrows the gap between the existing 10 and 50 ringgit notes. The Central Bank of Malaysia redesigns and recirculates designated banknotes every 12 years to make it easier for public use. Several new counterfeit safety features have been added, such as plastic polymer. The total number of banknotes is now up to 6.
Scientists here in Indonesia have created an artificial rice product that could satisfy the country's hunger for the staple starch. Researchers at the Bogor Institute of Agriculture blended a mixture of natural carbohydrates such as sorghum, corn, cassava, and sago. Add hot water, and the rice substitute cooks within 15 minutes. Scientists say that the creation will contribute toward food diversification and take pressure off rice production in the country. The average Indonesian consumes 139 kilos of rice a year, a Malaysian 80 kilos.
Conservationists are asking Vietnam to re-examine its policy of allowing tiger farms. Farm operators say they are helping increase the country's tiger population by raising the animals for sale as pets. But the World Wildlife Fund said in a recent report that the policy undermines wildlife conservation by contributing to illegal trade. The global wild tiger population has dropped over the last century from 100,000 to fewer than 3,500. Vietnam is one of 13 tiger countries where wild tigers roam, and government estimates place its population at between 28 and 47 tigers living in the wild.
Southeast Asia had its moments at the Summer Olympics in London. 4 ASEAN members combined to take home a total of 9 medals. The region was led by Thailand's 2 silver and 1 bronze. Indonesia and Malaysia had a silver and bronze each. Singapore won 2 bronze. We profile one Malaysian Olympian later in this program.
Once the bright economic hope of ASEAN, the Philippines has been struggling to regain its place as a place to do business. But the signs are upbeat so far this year, as ASEAN Today's Marisa Anita reports.
These are good times for Rafael Andrada. The treasurer of blue chip utility Manila Electric says business is booming.
2012 is a good year for Morocco so far. No? We've seen significant growth, robust growth on all our sales sectors, the commercial, residential, and industrial sector. In fact, I think for the first 5 months, we're trending towards a 10% growth in terms of sales volume year on year.
Manila Electric is just one of many Philippine companies where business sentiment is bullish. That's according to a recent Thomson Reuters INSEAD Asia survey.
If you look at the data, there is a good reason to think that this is not just some crazy optimism. The first quarter was amazing. Inflation seems to be under control. The peso is appreciating. The stock market has been going up.
The Philippine stock market is up double-digit percentage points so far this year and was the best performer in Asia last year. Businesses attribute the positivity to a government clampdown on corruption.
The Philippines is a very, very interesting market. There are lots of very well-run companies in the Philippines. However, it's rather expensive. So we have not been putting too much money in the Philippines. What's needed there are more listings, more activity in the market. But at this stage of the game, we have not got a lot there, but the potential is certainly excellent.
That potential is helping the Philippines and other countries in Southeast Asia remain a rare bright spot in the current global environment. While other markets contend with pulled listings and lower growth forecasts, Southeast Asia is still humming. And that gives investors, as well as businesses, something to smile about. Marissa Anita for ASEAN Today.
ASEAN Today will continue shortly.
He's the man who's taking budget travelers to more places than ever. And AirAsia's Tony Fernandez has more ambitious plans. He's in the hot seat next.
You're watching ASEAN Today this month from Kuala Lumpur and Jakarta. I'm Raymond Goh of Malaysia's TV3.
And I'm Dalton Tanunaka of Indonesia's Metro TV. And Raymond, one of your fellow Malaysians recently moved here to Jakarta. AirAsia Group CEO Tony Fernandez says his relocation is more than symbolic as he opened a new AirAsia ASEAN office in Indonesia's capital on August 7th. We talked at his Equity Tower headquarters, beginning with AirAsia's recent purchase of Batavia Air.
Batavia had a reasonable domestic network, which we didn't have, so it seemed a good fit. Our Indonesian partners came to us with the idea. They wanted to do it, so we supported the idea. We struck a good relationship with Pak Yudiawan, who was looking for some help, and so all the pieces fitted in the puzzle.
Both separate entities remain, no absorption of anybody?
No.
Okay, just a cash deal, get some cash infusion,
Yeah.
you get a new system?
Yes.
Okay. That said, you face ever-growing competition. Mandala's back in the air, CityLink spun off from Garuda, Lion Air has made a huge headline-grabbing purchase. Is the passenger pie big enough still?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. If you think of Europe, which probably has about 1,500 planes in the low-cost sector, from just a few carriers, if you add everything, maybe 2,000 aircraft, in a market of 350 million people. Indonesia's got 300 million people. There's probably about 150 aircraft to 200 aircraft right now. So there's a massive market. You just think tourism. Indonesia is known for Bali, but there's a hell of a lot more to see in Indonesia. From Sulawesi, you think of what we've done in Bandung. We've rewritten that town. We've redone the whole
And they're
economy.
overloaded they're bursting at the seams.
Exactly. So there's plenty of growth here. There's plenty of pie, and
Mostly domestic. That's where you're looking at.
I think there's more. Domestic has been the big mother share, but there's an enormous amount of international traffic that can come here, and that people just don't know about, and that's the job of us and other airlines to promote it.
You cut back on some routes within the last year. Where are you planning to head to next? I know you're already flying to Korea, but I hear possibly AirAsia Korea.
Well, you caught me there. Look, our name is AirAsia. We signed a Korean football player. It would be great to be in Korea. It's a cultural center right now for a lot of Asia with K-pop, etc. Let's see. But I have my hands full at the moment. But yeah, if you're saying, would I like to be in Korea? Absolutely. Would I like to be in China? Absolutely. Would I like to be in India? Yeah. What I like and what happens in reality are two different things. We have 680 million people in ASEAN. If they're all taking their holidays in ASEAN, like a lot of Europe does, a lot of Europe, English go to France, Paris, south of France, Germans go to Portugal, and they've created a huge tourism market here. What we're trying to do, along with other airlines, is create an ASEAN internal market, of which, you know, we have such diversity in culture that and places and
That you don't need to fly out of it.
exactly.
And that is
You're
why
exactly
you opened
right.
an office in Jakarta. I mean, but was that physically necessary, or was it more symbolic, or what was it?
It's both. We're always a little bit ahead of the curve. Now, people may say that we're behind the curve, that it's why you're opening in Jakarta, not Singapore. But I think the future of ASEAN starts in Jakarta. This is an amazing city. I went to someone's apartment yesterday, and she's kind of an artist, and she had all her friends work up there, and it was unbelievable art that I had never seen. I bought so many pieces straight away. Walking back to my apartment yesterday, I stopped in a bar and heard great music that was coming out there. And you get a vibe. You go to Surabaya and you see 55,000 people in a stadium who are unbelievable fans. The energy and excitement, of which we all need as human beings. It's a tough old business, the airline business. And I get electrified and I get energized by the environment I'm in. And Indonesia is happening.
Fernandez also said that a planned initial public offering of AirAsia Indonesia has now been pushed back to next year because of the Batavia Air buyout. More ASEAN Today is coming up shortly.
When we continue, why Malaysians followed the Olympic story of this athlete with special interest. That's next.
This is ASEAN Today, the monthly program on the world's most dynamic region.
And we're coming to you this month from Jakarta and Kuala Lumpur. Malaysians were keenly following the Summer Olympics in London this month. That's because one team member had a special family story to tell. ASEAN Today's Kanya Sutis Nawinata explains.
This 29-year-old Olympian prepared for two major events before heading to London. Suryani is a world-class shooter, having won a bronze medal at the 2010 Asian Games in Guangzhou and taking the gold at the Commonwealth Games 2 months before in New Delhi. After qualifying for the Summer Games in January this year, she found out she was pregnant.
I told my doctor about the traveling and my experience before, so the doctor suggests me to sleep all the way, 13 hours sleep all the way. If need any medications to help me to sleep, she will provide for me, because she don't want me to feel tired or stressed during the traveling.
Her condition didn't prevent her from her usual practice routine, and she says her doctor was okay with the pressures leading up to the Olympics.
Actually, I don't have any pressure, I don't have any stress at all at this moment, but I seek for it. I seek for the stress, I seek for the pressure, because I want to practice on handling the situations before this Olympic Games.
Suryani had the support of her husband, who accompanied her to London. She normally competes in 2 events, but accepted her physical condition and limited herself to just the 10-meter event. Disappointment gave way to acceptance.
At first, yes, but now I think it's all God's work. So maybe the gods give me to have a baby and to have a quota, 2 things at one time. So in order to achieve 2 things, maybe I need to sacrifice 1 thing. So I accept it.
She didn't win Olympic gold, eliminated in the first round, but Suryani now awaits a prize due in mid-September, a child. She says it's worth all the medals in the world. Kania Sutisnawinata for ASEAN Today.
Here are several events on the ASEAN calendar. Take a musical trip back in time with the best of Hong Kong's evergreen classics on August 27th at Malaysia's Genting Highlands. That same day at Singapore's Oakwood Asia Pacific, the most memorable travel photography competition opens to the public, sponsored by Nikon and Lonely Planet Asia. And the International Kole Boat Races is set to roar to life from September 21st to the 25th in Narathiwat, Thailand. A stunning new attraction is welcoming visitors to Singapore. Dramatic structures highlight a theme park that focuses on the environment. ASEAN Today's Putri Ayu Ningtyas takes us there.
The Gardens by the Bay is a visually eclectic mix of outdoor space and cultivated conservatories. It stands in the shadow of the iconic Marina Bay Sands towers, more than a dozen structures sprouting from the ground. They are the project's super trees, high-tech organic shapes that rise to the sky. This destination is built on reclaimed land within Marina Bay, a stone's throw from Singapore's Central Business District. With giant structures and elevated walkways, this is a theme park with a difference.
A garden is a themed park. Nothing natural about a garden, everything is man-made, brought in and cultivated. But in addition, it is focusing the public's recreational intent. In this particular themed park in a garden, you focus on the plants.
The super trees are built to resemble real plants. They provide shade during the day, with natural plants crawling up their sides and branches reaching out to form intricate canopies. They also mimic real trees in another way, by converting the sun's rays into energy. There are also 2 large conservatories that house a variety of plants from different regions.
These are I consider probably the first large conservatories on the equator. One houses an environment that we consider the Mediterranean type of climate, and the other captures a vanishing environment, namely the cloud forest.
Admission to Gardens by the Bay runs from $2.50 US up to $22.50, depending on how much you want to save. Singapore's long been known as the Lion City, but with this new attraction, calling it the Garden City would also be a natural idea. Putri Ayu Ningtyas for ASEAN Today.
We do like to get your feedback on ASEAN Today, and joining us with that, as always, is Duradi Sidichanya of the ASEAN Secretariat. Dee, good to see you as always. What are people saying this month?
Dalton, our first comment this month comes from Chusi from Thailand. He says, let's hold on together. That's the spirit that established ASEAN on August 8, 1967. Another from the Secretariat Facebook page, Sophia in Cambodia posted, what's the meaning of the 3 colors in ASEAN's logo? Good question, Sophia. Each represents a pillar of the ASEAN community. Blue for political security, yellow for economic, and red for social cultural. And Nava posted, can't wait for the AEC in 2015. Too excited. We're just as excited as you are, Nava, about the ASEAN economic community that will link us all. Let us know what you're thinking out there. You can email us at aseantoday.tv@gmail.com, post something on our Facebook page, or tweet us at ASEAN Today TV.
All right, Dee, thank you very much. See you next month. One more ASEAN story to tell. This one about children in Vietnam stressed out over exams and homework and how they're turning to Bollywood for relief. In Ho Chi Minh City, these 20 students are learning the dance steps to a popular Indian pop song. They're being guided by Indian choreographer Prakash Kastrira. He taught Bollywood dance classes for 20 years in India before coming to Vietnam earlier this year. The kids go through 2-hour sessions every weekend and say the exercise not only relieves stress, but actually helps them in their schoolwork as well. And it looks like fun. And that is this month's edition of ASEAN Today. Terima kasih. I'm Dalton Tanonaka in Jakarta.
And I'm Raymond Go in Kuala Lumpur. Please join us again next month for ASEAN Today.